time to hit the wall. Final event for the women here as we close out the opening day of competition for the individuals at the 2021 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Watch that last step, because it's a doozy. The interference between the pressing overhead on the wall walk and the pressing overhead on the thruster, that's going to be the difficult part in this event.
And Danielle Brandon is separated from the field. She is in the COVID protocol because two people she's been in close contact with have tested positive and have had to withdraw from the competition. That's Bethany Shadburn and Carrie Pierce. Danielle is getting tested daily. She has come back negative every time. That is why they are still allowing her to compete, but they are keeping her separate from the rest of the competitors.
We've seen the same thing happen in the Olympics. Right? They have athletes who have been in contact, separated from the rest of the athletes, but still allowed to compete. Brandon's had 2 negative tests today, so the games are doing everything they can to keep it a safe but fair competition field for these athletes.
And Mallory O'Brien right now is your leader through 7 of those 10 reps. Tia Toomey once again trying to become the first person to ever win the opening 4 events at the CrossFit Games.
Now, if you think of one thing in Tia Toomey's game where she's not the best at, I won't even say bad at, but not the best at, would be a handstand walk. This is not quite the same thing. This is less skill and more strength. I'm only trying to figure out a way to make her more human, right? I'm running out of things to try to compare herself to, but when you talk about a heavy thruster, major advantage for Tia Toomey. Mallory O'Brien is more on the wall. So you have 2 athletes that have very similar skill sets and strengths, flip-flop between the wall walk and thruster. I'm curious to see how this shakes out once we get to the mid part of this event.
Tia Toomey has pried the lead away from both Danielle Brandon and the woman on the right, Mallory O'Brien.
Now, what Mallory O'Brien needs to do is you need to take a break. You do not need to be sitting there holding that bar above your head that long. It's not necessary. All right, so I'm hoping that maybe your coach can get in there, get close, and say, listen, instead of hold a bar over your head for 5 seconds, just put it down on the ground and save your shoulders a little fatigue.
Brooke Wells comes into this event in 12th place overall. She had that 2nd place finish by less than a second to Tia Toomey in event 3. And for more on her, let's go down to Nikki Brazier.
I had a chance to catch up with Brooke's coach just before this event started, and he said that it was going to be difficult to determine exactly when and where to break up all of these movements, especially on the thrusters. Now, you'd think she's a stronger athlete, so potentially larger sets could be in the plan, and they'd originally planned on breaking it up into 2 or 3 sets up until the set of 6. But honestly, as they tried and tested things in the back, the unknown was just too strong. They said they're going to have to just go off a feel, which is pretty scary for these elite athletes who haven't been able to prepare for this event.
Brooke Wells currently in the top 3 in this heat. Laura Horvath comes into this event in 5th place overall. She is just 21 points back of Kristen Holta for 3rd.
Now, we know her biggest hole in her game is a handstand push-up. This is, I would say, more difficult in terms of effort and intensity, more so like a handstand push-up than a handstand walk. So what I'm curious to see is how she navigates the volume of these wall walks. She's not going to have an inability to do it. I think it just might be tough enough to slow her down and open the door for more athletes behind her.
Haley Adams, the woman in 2nd place overall, right next to Tia Toomey. She's 30 points back of Toomey for the overall lead, 18 points up on Kristen Holta. And as you said, if it wasn't for Tia Toomey, this is the story on day 1.
She's only 30 points back. Tia has won every event in dominating fashion, from a long swim to a moderate distance, 8 to 10 minutes of classic games CrossFit, and then a sprint. She's only 30 points back. If you look at 21.1 as a guide, Adams was 8th overall in the world, Tia Toomey was 6th. So they're very, very similar. Tia's advantage, though, her strength on the barbell. Haley is good, though. Haley is actually better at those 80% weights for multiple reps than she is at a 1-rep max.
Arasti has been a proud part of the CrossFit community for years. They recently expanded their remote recovery program to over 40 states. Schedule your virtual consultation today at arasti.com/CrossFit Recovery. That's AIRROSTI.com/CrossFit Recovery. Mallory O'Brien continuing to lead here. She has been faster on the wall walks, but Toomey has been able to make up ground on the barbell. Mallory O'Brien in the dark top and dark shorts on the right of your screen. She's next to Brooke Wells through 45 of the 110 total score repetitions. 14:25.5 seconds is the time to beat, and that belongs to another 17-year-old, Emma Cary.
I think a touch-and-go wall walk. We just saw that from Mallory O'Brien on the right side of your screen, where she just got her chest to the ground. It was like burpees inverted on the wall. That's basically the pace at which she was going on those wall walks. Now, what I want to see is how does she look on the thruster? What is her body positioning? How's that lockout? Is it shaky or is it solid?
Mallory O'Brien on her round of 8. Tia Toomey getting back to the barbell, and this is where Toomey has been able to cut into O'Brien's lead.
And it's the pause overhead that's going to hurt her. That is going to add up. So Tia Toomey on the left took a break. Now Mallory O'Brien her goal right now is it's apparent that she's trying to go unbroken on everything and touch and go on the wall walks. The question is, can she sustain that? After watching what she did in Granite Games, I am going to say yes, because there was many times when she would start an event and we would say too hot, too fast, too soon, and she was able to hold on to it. So Mallory O'Brien has proven that she has the capacity to. Now at the floor of the CrossFit Games here in the Coliseum for the first time in 2 years, might be a different story, but we'll see.
Mallory O'Brien through 56 of the 110 total scored repetitions, currently in her round of 7 wall walks. Amanda Barnhart just moving her barbell on the left of your screen. She sits in 4th place, fighting with Brooke Wells. Catherine David's daughter, who just dropped her barbell on the right of your screen, is in 5th. Barnhart 9th overall after 3 events, looking to stay inside the top 10 and maybe move inside the top 5 after this event.
She's strong athlete, good conditioning, has that swimming background, had a good event too. Little off the pace in events 2 and 3, finding herself in the position she is now. But this barbell shouldn't really be an issue, but it's the compounding effect. It's not just the wall walk itself. It's not just the thruster, but that give and take between the two of them, it adds up. There's a lot of redundancy. That just means the same movement pattern and muscle groups being used in back-to-back movements for this couplet.
Mallory wasting no time as she goes right to
Both Barnhart, David's daughter, are locked with Brooke Wells for that 3rd place spot in this heat. Mallory O'Brien continuing to hold off Tia Toomey as Mallory O'Brien is closing out her round of 7. 1 rep to go there. Tia Toomey is 7 reps back. Mallory O'Brien back to the wall for her round of 6.
We saw the same thing that happened to Emma Cary. Now, Emma Cary was breaking up her thrusters, but what's the harder part of the movement? That no rep. So we got to make sure is that your hand cannot move off of that tape line until both feet are touching the wall. That's where she got called back on, and that's just a product of trying to move fast, right? And she's moving extremely fast. Here's the scary part for Tia Toomey if she wants to win 4 in a row to start the day, is that she's going to have to make a move now. Because the hardest part of this event for Mal is those thrusters. It's not the wall walks. So Tia's running out of real estate, which is that heavy thruster if she wants to keep pace with Mallory O'Brien.
Tia Toomey has gained a little bit of ground here now, just 2 reps back of Mallory O'Brien.
Those are big reps, right? We talked about that. 2 reps on a wall walk, 20 to 30 seconds.
Maybe 5 or so is all that separates our top 5 is 5 reps.
Mallory O'Brien is through her 6 wall walks. Toomey 2 reps back of her.
She's taking a big break. Now here's what you don't want to do. Just because you're going unbroken does not necessarily mean you're going faster if you're resting more time between the wall walk and the thruster so that you can go unbroken. It's almost better to run to the bar, hit a set, maybe half the reps, rest another 10 seconds and go. You'll save more time and actually more energy that way by getting to the bar first. So I hope Mal is not resting more because she thinks going unbroken is faster.
Mallory O'Brien, the first woman to advance to the second wall and start her round of 5.
She got another callback, and that's just the first rep of every set. She's trying to go fast. She gets her rhythm afterwards. But she needs to get rid of those, right? If your advantage is the wall walk, you cannot give it back to Tia Toomey, who's running you down in the middle of the competition floor.
Tia Toomey still in second place. You saw the time to beat as it's the kids who are taking over here in event 4. Emma Cary, the 17-year-old, along with Mallory O'Brien. 14:25.57 is your time to beat.
You're 1 and 2, separated by a handful of reps, but Mallory O'Brien working on a big wall walk right there. She can strut herself.
Mallory O'Brien, this is her 3rd career appearance at the games, but her first as an individual. She competed twice in the teenage division. She was 5th in the 14 to 15-year-old division in 2019 and then 4th in 2018.
Gotta pick up that bar. Gotta pick up that bar. It's 5 reps. You've been holding on up to this point. It's only 15 left to go of the 40 you've already done up until this point. You gotta have some confidence getting under that bar. Your wall walks are fine. Just pick up that bar. Try to break spirits so they're not gonna try to chase you down.
5 reps down for Mallory O'Brien. 20 reps to go. Now into a round of 4. Still ahead of Tia Toomey. Catherine Davis-Otter, Amanda Barnhart, and Brooke Wells still fighting for 3rd.
I think this could be the round where Mal can separate herself just off, not breaking spirits is what for Tia Toomey, but just deterring her from wanting to chase her down. If you can get off this wall right before she starts, that might be enough to not want or not have Tia want to run you down. But she's got to get here. She's got to pick up the bar now. If she's moving back to the wall before Tia's done, I think Tia won't run her down at the end.
4 thrusters now for Mallory O'Brien. She's hung on for every set at 135 pounds.
That's it. That's what I wanted to see. It's almost like being on a foot race, but there's a blind corner. Sprint to the corner as fast as you can, and then you can start slowing down. As long as they don't see you, they're not going to run you down.
Mallory O'Brien, 12 reps to go. She is ahead of Tia Toomey, who has won every event so far here at the CrossFit Games. Mallory O'Brien looking for her first career event win as an individual. If she hangs on here and is able to get it inside that 14:25.57 mark, Mallory O'Brien will become the youngest event winner ever at the CrossFit Games. 9 reps remain. She's on a round of 3 thrusters.
The crowd knows it. Everyone's getting on their feet. They know it.
Mallory O'Brien took a look at where Tia Toomey was, and she is right back to work. Set of 2 here for O'Brien. About a minute and a half, less than a minute and a half before we hit Emma Cary's top time.
What an impressive performance here for Mallory O'Brien.
1 rep remains for Mallory O'Brien. And as Han Solo once said, "You're all clear, kid. Let's blow this thing and go home." Score 1 for the youngsters. Mal O'Brien will win event 4.
Tia-Clair Toomey now, still in the mix, still trying to finish ahead of Emma Cary. Tia-Clair Toomey.
13:41.22 seconds for Mal O'Brien.
14-minute marker. Tia-Clair Toomey.
Tia Toomey is looking at a 2nd place finish, and she will remain in the overall lead, and she salutes the effort from Mal O'Brien. Now it's Brooke Wells, Amanda Barnhart, and Catherine Davis-Otter fighting for 3rd. Brooke Wells is in, but she will not get in ahead of Emma Cary. Amanda Barnhart is across. So Brooke Wells will take 4th in the event. Barnhart gets 5th.
And that's great for Brooke Wells, building off her event win on the sprint in event number 3.
We got David Datter battling it out with Holta and Dora's daughter, Adams.
Catherine Davidsdottir
How we looking down there?
looking to close out her day, and she is in. Davidsdottir ahead of Kristen Holta. 7th place in the event for Davidsdottir. She'll pick up 82 points. Kristen Holta will finish in 8th place in the event. And that will earn her 79 points.
Dora's daughter set to finish this thing up next. Looks like all this dance between her and the finish is about a half.
There's Annie Thorisdottir. In her 11th career appearance here at the CrossFit Games, has competed in 3 different decades.
The original teenage girl competitor, 2009.
And she will advance that barbell into her final set.
She is into the final round. 21-minute time cap shouldn't be a problem for a lot of the athletes still on the floor here.
16 minutes in. We are 16 minutes in.
Annie Thorisdottir next up to finish
Final rep for the former 2-time champ.
underneath the bar, stands up tall,
And you gotta finish with a smile if you're Annie Thorisdottir.
Haley Adams.
The Haley Adams, who came in 2nd place overall, she was only 18 points up on Kristen Holta. Kristen Holta is already in. Holta finished in 8th place in this event. That's good for 79 points.
Finish this next. She's kind of in the center field of play right there. Long hair, black
And it's just that barbell. That's a heavy bar for 55 reps mixed with that challenging wall walk.
Now, Haley Adams will come across the finish line, and she will take 11th place in this event. That's good for 70 points. So Kristen Holta unofficially is able to shave 9 points off of that 18-point deficit. She cuts it in half.
Daniel Brandon. They are sprinting to that ball.
Emily Rolfe is now across.
Brandon grabbing it first. Let's see.
Danielle Brandon in a race with Danny Spiegel at the other end of the floor.
it was too close to call.
And it's going to be Brandon
17-16, don't know what Brandon got.
who loses out to Spiegel by 0.2 of a second, less than 0.2 of a second. Spiegel's going to take 15th in the event. Brandon will take 16th. Now Emma McQuaid and Christy Arima O'Connell have also come across.
McQuaid, Christy Airbo O'Connell, and Laura Horvath almost ready to be done.
Laura Horvath, Jacqueline Dalstrom. Now Horvath is across the finish line, leaves Jacqueline Dalstrom, Bailey Rail, and Emma Tall, who you're looking at now. The only 3 women left on the competition floor. 21-minute time cap, so less than 3 minutes to go here.
3 minutes to go for our athletes on the competition floor.
And I believe we have 3 athletes on the floor.
Laura Horvath coming in 5th place overall, tied with Danielle Brandon for that spot. Brandon's going to leapfrog Horvath in the overall standings. And Christy Arima O'Connell, who came in 4th place overall, she's taken 18th place in this event. So we could see a shakeup here in the top 6 or 7 spots, other than the top 3.
Dalstrom, followed by Rail, followed by Tall.
Now, Danielle Brandon, who once again is in the COVID protocol, has yet to test positive, but they are testing her every day. Came out with a negative test today. That's why she's allowed to compete. They are keeping her separate from the other athletes. Just make sure everyone is as safe as possible. Jacqueline Dalstrom is in. Now Bailey Rail and Emma Tall, the last 2 athletes on the floor here. That is Emma Tall, the woman who qualified in the last chance qualifier, her 2nd career appearance, finished in 31st place in 2019. And Bailey Rail is across. Emma Tall with just 2 reps remaining. Plenty of time.
Seconds remaining. I believe we have one athlete still left on that competition floor.
Final rep for Emma Tall. And it will be the final rep of the day for the individuals here at the 2021 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Mal O'Brien, the youngest event winner in the history of the CrossFit Games, stares down and holds off the 4-time champ, 13:41.22 seconds.
And that was just 2 seconds of Scott Penchik's time of 13:39. That's some elite company.
Impressive performance from Mal O'Brien. The only athlete to go sub-14, Tia Toomey, earns a total of 397 out of a possible 400 points on day 1. Mal O'Brien, her first career event win as an individual, and she is with Nikki Brady.
Mal, you were the only athlete out there that we saw go for that strategy of longer unbroken sets, but a rest at the top with that heavy barbell. Why was that a part of your strategy, and why did it work for you?
I'm really confident in wall walks, so I know they wouldn't fatigue me that much. And with the barbell, it's just such a low rep scheme. I didn't want to take the energy to do another squat clean. So I was just like, okay, just hold it on top. You know, your shoulders are strong enough. So, yeah.
When it's you chasing down the most dominant other female competitor that we've ever seen here in CrossFit, I saw you kind of looking over at her, but then at the end you guys also had a hug. What's going through your mind when she's the person that you're trying to catch?
I got out in front and I was like, oh no. I was like, we still got like 9 more rounds, but I just kept that consistent pace, kept my same strategy. And I mean, obviously I looked over to see where she was at. It wasn't supposed to be like an aggressive or mean look, but yeah, just to see where she was, and it was really cool.
Now, you're one of the youngest competitors that we have out on the field of play, but you are not the only one. And when you see your counterpart in the first heat do incredibly well too, does that light a different kind of fire in you moving forward?
Nope, I'm always just paying attention to what I'm doing, staying in my lane, and focusing on what I can do to do my best. So,
Congratulations, thank you.
thank you.